What's up, party people of the SFL? What's going on? Crazy train. Screw the crazy train. This is a party train. What's up, party peeps? Glad to see everybody in the house tonight. We'll get to the chat in just a minute. Welcome to episode 45 of Axis Live. I'm Dave Axis, your host. How'd you guys like that music? I don't remember who it was that said they wanted some Metallica or Ozzy or something, but there you go. You ask and you shall receive. I hooked you up there, whoever that was. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Tuesday evening of Thanksgiving weekend? We've got another great show lined up for you tonight. We'll be hitting Week 7 recaps as well as Week 8 previews of the SFL Minor League and that crazy game that got cut off the other night. Is that you, Chucky B? Attaboy. There you go. How'd you like that crazy train? Also, we've got Frank the Franchise Wade here tonight with his very first positional rankings of the season. So he will be the third different person putting out SFL minor league / rookie big boards and positional rankings to get all that going for you guys for the draft. Also, we've got a full panel tonight of all your favorite SFL peeps. We're going to be breaking down the Season 15 All-Star selections, and I'm going to make each and every single one of them tell all of you something they're thankful for both in the SFL and out of the SFL. How do you like them apples? Do you like apples? How about them apples? All right, let's check it out. Let's see who's in the house tonight. Who are the party people on the crazy train? On the party train. Let's see. We got Freddie, of course. Charles is here. Jason France, a Rapid Raccoon, Coco, Tyler Falk, Nate Hall, Will Todd, Chucky B, Wiggy's here, Pink Lisa, my beautiful bride, is in his house. We see Nate Hall. Hope you're enjoying your vacation, bro. Mr. O3rd is here. Oh, and looks like you subbed, bro. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Hugo's in the house, of course. Chris Lee, I see you too. Doug Britton. Who else? Art Vandalay, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Bo Martin Jr., I'm not sure if I already said you. Frank, of course, is here. My favorite quarterback in the world, Ace Fennick, is here. Jack Lewis is in the house. Who else we got? Is that about it? A little less than normal, I'm thinking. Jason France, did I already say you, bro? Top Hat is here. Jay Fuentes is here. Winkler's in the house. He's in the chat. Who else? Unspoken 55. Johnny, everybody's favorite quarterback. Katrina Botel. What's up, Katrina Botel? Let's see. Too much Nels. Too much Nels. All right. Good to see you. I think that's about it. Anyway, it looks like numbers aren't too bad then. It looks like we got a lot more than I thought. And if you're traveling right now, if you're listening to me and you're traveling or whatever, please be safe. Wear your mask, be careful, be safe, all that good stuff. All right, let's get this party started. Introductions. We have a full house, like I said. Let's whip through these real quick. Back with us to help us out with the SFL Minor League as well as the other stuff we'll be doing tonight. Benjamin Warner's back. Benjamin, good to see you, bro. Thanks for coming back.
Hello, thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, always. Benji Matson's back with us as always. Benji, glad to have you here too, bro.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate that. The owner of the Lone Star Glory is back. Him and his buttery Chardonnay. Charles Doherty's here with us. Charles, what's up?
Good evening, Mr. Ambassador.
Everybody's favorite coach and the sexiest coach, sexiest voice, sorry, on his own podcast. Coach Craven's back with us. Coach, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. Back here for the party. Thanks for having me.
This is where the party is. This is the party train. Crazy train, party train, the whole 9 yards. Back, he's been gone a couple weeks, but back with us once again. Eagle Mondavi is here with us. Eagle, what's going on, bro?
Oh, how are you tonight? I'm fantastic. You know, Elsie's asleep, so I've got some free time.
That's the thing. Hopefully she can sleep through the whole show. I mean, damn, I sleep through the show sometimes, so shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. We got Eddie Gage, Mr. Arizona Everything, the Hall of Famer, the teaser. Eddie, are you retiring? What's going on, bro?
What up, though? I guess you just have to pay attention to all things Arizona, social media and find out.
Okay, there you go, a little teaser. I mentioned in the monologue, Frank the Franchise Wade is with us tonight. Frank, what's going on with you, bro?
Oh, it's always a pleasure, Dave. Always a pleasure. A little intimidating following Eddie Gage, though.
Oh, you know what? He's probably retiring anyway. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The Cuban Missile's back with us once again. The offensive coordinator for my glorious Lone Star Glory, Greg Soto's in the house. Soto, what's going on?
What's up, Dave? You got any lines, man?
Are you back in Miami or something?
Oh, man. Thanks for having me on the show, man. I'll go back to bed. Thanks.
Oh, great. Sorry I woke you. All right. The wisest man in the SFL is back with us as always. Gunny, what's up?
Happy Thanksgiving week to you, Dave.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Everybody's favorite quarterback, the first and ever Diva of the Year from the Access Live show, Johnny Pickler's here. Johnny, what's going on, bro?
What's up, SFL Nation? I heard there was a party, so, I had to show up. What party would it be without me?
Word. There you go. Back with us again, also to do minor league stuff, but also to help us out with the other stuff, is Mr. All-Star Jack Brown. Jack, congrats on your All-Star selection.
Oh, please. Only so much. Yeah, no, Dave, just got done with all my finals, and so now I'm going to use the last 2 brain cells that are functioning within my brain. I'm going to rub them together, and we're going to be talking about some minor league stuff.
All right. Well, at least we got 2 brain cells from you this show. And last but certainly not least, he is your 2-minute drill master. Mr. Tyler Falk is back with us. Tyler, what's up with you, bro?
Hey, Dave. Thanks for having me. It's a thankful Tuesday evening.
Yes, it is. All right. So I want to dive into this for a second. We're going to talk about the All-Star stuff in a moment. I like how Cam broke it up into East and West, I guess based on the new divisions and what have you. So that's kind of cool. We're going to dive into that in a minute. But before we get to that, what I really want to do is I want to get to this Week 7 of the SFL Minor League. We're going to go through all 4 games. Benjamin and Jack are going to help us out. Benjamin Warner, this Birmingham-Annapolis game, tell me about that game.
Yeah, this was a great game, Dave. So Birmingham took an early 13-0 lead in the first quarter, but then Annapolis decided to block an extra point, which I thought really changed the momentum in this game. Bailey O'Shaughnessy ran a big 56-yard run, leading to a touchdown, and then Josh Gill had a huge interception, which led to another touchdown for Annapolis. And at 14 unanswered points, Birmingham scores at the end of the half to make it 20-14, but Annapolis makes some key adjustments on defense in the second half. And only holds Birmingham to 3 points. There were no touchdowns in the second half. And a really crazy ending here. It was tied 23-23, and Christian Brown was intercepted with 36 seconds left. I thought Birmingham played a little too aggressive here, trying to get the field goal instead of playing for overtime. And then Annapolis kicks the game-winning field goal. I thought an interesting stat to look at out of this game was Christian Brown, 3 interceptions. This adds to his total of 14 interceptions already thrown. So I think a problem here with Birmingham, if they're going to try to win the championship here, is their turnover differential. They have a -6 turnover differential right now and 15 turnovers already. If they continue on that pace, they're going to have a tough time trying to win that championship.
Yeah, it sounds like it. As a matter of fact, once we get through Week 7 and Week 8, we're going to show you Tyler's got a graph for you guys to see. Check out percentages of chances to finish in what seed and what have you. It's actually a really great graph that he put together. All right, Benjamin, thank you so much. Jack, Salt Lake City at Memphis. This was only a touchdown difference game. Tell me about this one.
Yeah, it may have been only a touchdown the difference, but Memphis, from about the second quarter on, where they were the ones in control of this ball game, Salt Lake City was able to jump out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter, but then right from there, Memphis just had control of the game, only letting up 1 touchdown and a field goal after that, and meanwhile they themselves just piled on the points on offense. Also, they were able to, in fact, capitalize on the mistakes by Tommy Utah, which I still find it funny that the Utah-based team is quarterbacked by a guy literally named Johnny Utah. But still, for them, he got picked off twice. It's not easy to really be working with that. And if Salt Lake City wants to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to really step it up, and they're going to have to minimize those mistakes because they're clearly a good football team. I'm not going to knock them on that. However, they need to improve these last 2 weeks. Now, granted, the last 2 weeks for them are going to be home against Tacoma and then home against Madison. Tacoma should be a winnable game for them, but Madison, they're right on that playoff bubble. They're going to be dangerous.
Yeah, interesting that we had 3 of the 4 games this week were really close, within a touchdown, 2 of them within 3 points, especially going into getting, what 2 weeks out now till playoff time. It's going to be interesting. Benjamin, Albuquerque, Tacoma, another 26-23 game, identical to the other game you just talked about. Tell me about this. Albuquerque been up and down. How'd they look this weekend?
Yeah, I was watching this game and I felt like deja vu all over again because the game-winning field goal at the end of this game. But I thought Albuquerque had a good game. Shout out to Nate Ritters, who had 11 receptions for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. Huge game for him. So Tacoma jumped out to an early lead at home, 13-0 again, as the other game too. Jay Moss had a huge touchdown to start the game, 65 yards. But Albuquerque came back, and Torres, Jorge Torres, 10 tackles, an interception, made a huge interception, which I thought changed momentum in the game to end the second half or the first half. But Chris Lee, a huge in the fourth quarter, to take a 23-16 lead. Big post route down the middle of the seam for 58 yards. But Ritter catches his second touchdown a minute later to tie it up. The teams both went into overtime. I think with 2 minutes left, the Adams kicked the game-winning field goal and improved to 4-2. But Albuquerque, troubling stat here: PJ Slaughter, 4 interceptions. It was great they won, but they got to be careful because 4 interceptions, you're not going to win many games throwing that.
No, a lot of interceptions this weekend actually by a couple of these quarterbacks. Thank you, Benjamin. All right, Jack. The only game this weekend that wasn't close. And we didn't even get a chance to find out if San Jose got to make it close because of the power outage. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was about, halfway through the fourth quarter. I think Madison still had the ball at the time. Do you think San Jose was going to make a comeback, or do you think that's pretty much how the game was going to end?
Well, I mean, you can't really make those projections. It's all like hearsay at this point. But yeah, Madison, they had the ball. They were driving down the field. They probably would have ended up kicking a field goal off of that drive. But it's one of the weird the San Jose flight, the modern tragedy of the SFLM. They're a team that on their day can have a pretty decent game. And, in some more specific aspects, they did have a decent enough game. Their secondary was really good, intercepting Eric Price twice on the day. And in general, they did have some really good moments when they were allowed to have them. But the thing is, football, you can't just win a game of football off of 3 of the 40 or 50 some odd plays that happen in a given game of football, right?
Right.
San Jose's problem this season, that's been their problem. They've never gotten really lucky, and they've always found a way to just not be super consistent. On Madison's end, though, it was probably not the win they were hoping for, but they got it anyways. 331 passing yards from Eric Price, and we weren't even towards the end of the game. We weren't even at the end of it, and Eric Price was gunslinging.
Right.
Obviously, he went a little bit aggressive, threw 2 interceptions. In the SFL, that's borderline a typical day at the office.
Right.
And for Madison, for them, this is huge. This sticks them right in the midst of that playoff race, and they need to really perform the last 2 weeks with their last 2 games, being home against the Ottawa Cavalry, currently on the outside looking in, and on the road against the Salt Lake City Rustlers.
So, what is it? So 4 interceptions, 2 interceptions. So there was at least, at the bare minimum, like 10 or 12 interceptions this weekend? That is a typical SFL game sometimes, especially this past season. All right, Jack, thank you. Appreciate that. Hey, Tyler, I want to ask you something before we go into this Week 8 stuff. Let's break down this percentage thing first, and then we'll go into Week 8 because I think that it makes more sense to talk about this first and then talk about the games. Go ahead and dissect this for the people watching and listening real quick.
Right. So for those of you that saw my mention in SFLM General and then just regular Gen Chat, when you first clicked on it, you were met by a whole bunch of red and green squares and probably had no idea what you were looking at. So I refer you to this chart that you guys are currently seeing. This was at the bottom of that first page that you had opened. And this is the key things to look for in general. This just tells the entire story of what all those graphs and lines mean. So basically, the in column represents how many times that they have made the playoffs based on all the different, tiebreakers, all that stuff. So when you look at it, Birmingham has the most times out of all 256 scenarios. Birmingham's making the playoffs 205 times.
Gotcha.
And they have an 80% chance of making the playoffs. What all the rest of the columns mean is how many times that they make a certain seed of the times they make the playoffs. So that 36% for first place for Birmingham means out of that 205, they're going to make the playoffs they're going to make the playoffs and be the number one seed 74 of those times, or 36%. So that's pretty much just a synopsis and a quick breakdown of all that.
Okay. So obviously Tacoma, San Jose are out. Salt Lake City and Ottawa have no chance for a 1 seed. And it looks pretty good for Birmingham and Annapolis at this point, basically, is how it's looking to me. That looks like it took a lot of work, bro. Appreciate you doing all that and let me put it on the show for everyone to check out.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah. Let's go 3 to 4 days of work. But I'd happily do it again.
I saw the whole sheet that you put together. This is only a very small part of it. I saw all the different scenarios. That was an insane amount of work. So kudos to you. All right, let's kick off this Week 8 2-minute drill, bro. It's all you now. Go ahead.
All right, thanks, Dave. And we're off and running with the SFLM 2-minute drill. Congrats, SFL Nation, on going a perfect 4-0 last week on Who You Got. That moves you to 15-13 this season and sees me move to 17-11. It's been a rough season for San Jose. With a bye week next week, it'll be their final game of the season as they go to Blues Country to face Memphis, who played some very scrappy defense to fend off Salt Lake City. The Memphis River Runners' offense might not be the flashiest in the league, but they are efficient. This week led by O.J. Bruin, who has a solid completion percentage and the highest yards per attempt of any quarterback. The flight defense has given up the second most yards per game to the air. Sorry, San Jose. Memphis hands you your 8th loss of the season, 24-13. Both Tacoma and Salt Lake were handed losses last week, with the loss for the Grizzlies knocking them out of playoff contention. But they can still ruin the chances of the Rustlers with a bounce-back win here. The key for them has to be their ball-hawking defense and their efficient offense that rarely makes mistakes. For Salt Lake, they have to get Brooke Beisel going early and often against the league's worst rushing defense. But with the Rustlers giving the ball away just as much as they're taking it, I see only one outcome. The Tacoma Grizzlies take down Salt Lake, 25-21. Last year, when Madison and Ottawa played, the final score was separated by 3 points. Much of what made that scoreline was how those teams played. This year, it should be no different as we'll see another running back showdown between Charlie Bullet-Boletsky and Kevin Say. Both runners have over 500 yards this season, and both are forces in nature. Which defense is better prepared to handle these dangerous backs? Ottawa's defense boasts the second lowest rushing yards against per game, and that is why it'll be the Cavalry who take the 3-point victory, 20-17. The final contest has already been touted as the game of the week, and it's win and in for both Navigators and the Adams. Annapolis knocked out Birmingham last week with another strong rushing performance from the league's leading rusher, Bailey O'Shaughnessy. And Albuquerque came back to win their game in overtime with a huge day from Nate Ritters. Both of these teams' defenses are dominant when it comes to containing both the run and the pass. But if there is anything to say about the turnover differential, and PJ Slaughter's 4 picks he threw last week, it looks more and more likely that the winner of this contest and the first team in the playoffs will be from the Babes of New England and not the Deserts of the Southwest. The Navigators win a shootout, 27-21. And that is the Week 8 SFLM 2-minute drill.
Awesome, bro. Hey, I think you actually breathed this time as opposed to last week. You're getting that breathing part down, huh?
Oh, just a little bit here and there. I got to take one here and there.
Dude, that's awesome. That's really good stuff. Thank you, bro. Appreciate all of that. I'll give you a break now as I move on to Frank real quick. Frank the Franchise Wade in the house. Frank, what's going on, bro?
Oh, doing well.
So we've had Thomas on with his big board. We've had Twin Screw on with his positional rankings. Now you're going to be doing your very first positional ranking of this upcoming draft. Do you, when, a lot of people have been asking me, so I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask Twin Screw and Thomas as well. When do you anticipate start putting actual draft boards together?
Want to put a draft board together as soon, we've got teams doing signings right now, or re-signings. And so once that fills up and we start seeing what positions are available for each team, we will, I will anyway, we'll start putting together a draft board. I think Twin Screw does 2 rounds and things like that. Last season I did a 4-round mock draft, and it helped elevate some guys from that 4th round up into like the 1st or 2nd round by getting their name out there and things like that. So as soon as we start figuring out when the signings finish, we'll start putting together mock drafts.
Okay. I think I accidentally, as I'm looking at this, cut off your strong safety, so you might have to read those. But in the meantime, go ahead and tell us about your positional ranking board.
Well, if you're looking at the screen and you see the names that are highlighted in blue, those are the ones that I have seen, and this is all my opinion. Mike might have something different, or Thomas might have something a little bit different, but the names are pretty much the same names. The guys I have highlighted in blue, I've really seen active in chat. I've really seen them offering to do things and all that. And if your name's not highlighted in blue, don't get offended because I'm just these are just guys that I have seen, and I probably see you before it's all said and done. The guys I have listed in red are the ones that are trying to, again, in my opinion, are just now recently being active and everything like that, and trying to get their name out there as much as they can. And I could be wrong on some of these guys. Like I said, this is what I've seen just recently. And everybody else listed, there's at some point or another, they've been in chat and everything. But the ones in blue are active and could be an asset to the team that they get put on, or to the league.
Okay. As I'm looking at the list, I just pulled your file back up since I chopped it. I just want everybody to let them know there's only one kicker/punter on here, and that's Jack Lewis. And then on the strong safeties, you've got Tom Krieg and Mike Ryan in blue, Monty White in white, Christopher Magel in, what is that color? Maybe like a brown?
I thought it was red, but whatever.
Okay. And then Julian Valerie, Blake Prine, John Stamongo, and Brandon Rowe. Just so, for those of you, since you can't see it on my thing, I wanted to read those out to you. Frank, was there anything else you wanted to say about these, or any people in particular?
Well, I didn't want to really single anybody out in particular. You might see some names on there that were there for season 15, and some possibilities of some guys that we thought were going to get drafted and ended up not getting drafted. The ones that are dedicated to listening to your show and to following me and Mike and Thomas and Eagle and all that know that it's more what you do in the chat and for the owners to see and all that than it is your stats on the field. Mm-hmm. You've got some guys talking about stats and all that stuff, and then whenever people start telling them about hey, it's not all that, they get offended and everything. So you'll have some guys in chat, but they're in chat in a negative way, and that can hurt you just as well.
Right, exactly. That's true. And then just to recap, we talked about this last week on the show as well. Thomas actually asked me about on-field play versus, how people portray themselves in the public eye. And I mentioned that, at Lone Star, speaking for Charles and Coach as well, we always talk about the person over the player. And Coach says all the time that you're more than just the number associated to your name. So, how you come off in the chat, how you reach out to people, how you are in DMs, What are you doing for the league? What are you doing for your minor league team? All of that stuff adds up. So for those of you who listen to the show and hear Thomas and hear Twin Screw and hear Frank talk about this, these are their perceptions of what you're doing in the SFL public eye. So you just keep that in the back of your mind. Frank, thank you for coming on and bringing your first board to us. Appreciate it, bro.
I appreciate it.
All right. Let's get these panelists into this shindig a little bit. We've got SFL All-Star Game coming up, and the rosters were announced yesterday. The game is, I believe it's Friday. Is it Friday let me see. Where is it at? Sunday, December 6th. There's not a time associated with it yet, but Sunday the 6th is the game. Couple quick notes for myself. Obviously, Bryant Dynasty made it as a quarterback. No surprise there. A lot of the running backs, I think we expected. Robert Redford, Warren Murray, T. Roy Gaines, Reggie Streeter, of course. Interesting thing to me, because it was divided up geographically this year, instead of, you get the first best person, they get the second, that kind of thing. In the West, and I'm going to start with Charles, since this has something to do with him, and this should be a little near and dear to his heart. You got the two best tight ends and two possibly the best overall receivers in the game on the same side of the ball in Adam Williams, of course, and Mike Daggs. That doesn't seem very fair to the East. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the coach of the West team has the advantage over being able to use some plays that accentuate the abilities of like the fullback and the tight ends. And I would also say that you win up front, and I would argue that the front line on both sides of the ball on the West are slightly better than the East.
Yeah, that's a good point. Speaking of tight ends, Benji Matson, what do you think about this tight end situation? And again, no shade thrown to Jamal Wooding, who I love, playing with him in Atlanta, and James Matthew Jr. this year from Queen City. But what do you think about the tight end matchups in this All-Star game coming up this weekend?
Yeah, congratulations to everyone that made it, of course. And this is an interesting point indeed. And because of the East versus West division here, I thought, for instance, if you're going to throw that out, Robert Garrett Jr., totally deserving of being an all-star.
Good point.
And of course, West being so loaded, he would have been that third player there. So he missed out because he was sitting behind good old Mikey D and Adam Williams. So that's unfortunate for the Cowboy, who had a fantastic year. But on the east side of the ball, James Matthew had a great year, and Jamal Wooding led all tight ends in yards per reception. So he's a big play waiting to happen. So good tight ends still on the east. That is an interesting concept, the way kind of everything got laid out with that east versus west, and that delineation there, starting with the tight ends, which we all know is really the truly most important position on the field.
Well, of course, I wanted to start with tight ends because this was the year of the tight end.
Precisely. So I would say that is West might have a little bit of advantage there, but those tight ends at the top had fantastic years. Yeah. Great year to be a tight end.
It really is. It really is. Let's move on to Coach for a second. Coach, let's switch over to quarterbacks. Bryant Dynasty, no surprise. Of the other three quarterbacks, do you think they're all deserving? Do you think there was anybody that should have been instead of them? Or how do you see the four quarterbacks laid out for the All-Star game?
I think in an all-star game like this, there's always an argument for somebody else. There's always somebody that's left out. There are several quarterbacks that you could make a case for. Pickler was very efficient. Maybe he didn't throw quite as much as some of the other guys, but he was very efficient. I personally prize that a lot out of my quarterbacks. I would have put that higher. CC had another good year. They're just guys, there's always going to be guys out there that have great years. And somebody's always going to be left out. I don't have any argument with these. It shook out pretty much how I expected it to in the quarterback ranks. But, you roll with it.
Right. Okay. Let's go to only quarterback on the panel tonight. Johnny, what do you think about these 4 quarterbacks that were picked for the All-Star game?
I definitely think that that Wilson, Miller, and Dynasty are deserving. You know, at the end of the day, I don't, we don't have any analytical kind of measurement to or threshold to guarantee people get in. At the end of the day, we trust the commissioner, and and it's based on his opinions of who should be there and who shouldn't. And it's not an easy job to do, to go over 400 players in this league. So at the end of the day, he's done a good job with this. I don't like the fact that that Sully's in there. I like Sully as a guy. It's nothing against him. But if you dive deep, kind of into him, for one, I heard Coach say that there's a lot of deserving quarterbacks. I think my barometer is, if you throw more interceptions than touchdowns, you shouldn't be in the competition. So that only leaves about 6 quarterbacks left. So Dynasty, Miller, Wilson, like I said, I think they should be there. You look at Sully, there's only one stat category he leads in, and that's yards. And when you look at a quarterback who throws for a lot of yards, you would think that he would have a good YPA. His YPA would be, top of the league, his yards per attempt. Sully's actually bottom 5 of quarterbacks who've played a complete 12-game season in the league with YPA. 40% of his passes were to 40%, not of his attempts, of his completions, were behind the line of scrimmage to his running back. His running back had 157 receptions on the year. So that's 13 receptions a game for his running back. So, at the end of the day, that in combination with him only throwing 2 touchdowns more than interceptions, being on a losing team that didn't find the playoffs, it's just not impressive quarterback statistics to me.
Okay. Who do you think should be in there instead of Sully? Do you have anybody in mind?
Do I have anyone in mind? I think that if it's not me, it should be Wigmore. But if it's not me, it should be Wigmore. But Wigmore only played 6 games, so right. If I was on the poll, I just couldn't give it to him for only playing half a season. But right. I think I was snubbed. But I'm definitely I'm just taking it with a smile on my face. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's a commissioner and his staff's opinions, and it's not all by the stats.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, bro. Let's move on to wide receivers. Eagle, you're a receiver. I'm a receiver, and then we're going to go to Soto next, and then Frank. This is a very talented wide receiver core in this All-Star game. As you look down this list, Hacker, Leroy Brown, Rich Pratchett, Gabriel Manning, Brett Killian, Ken Gossett Jr. Who else we got? Heath McDaniel, Boo Chisholm, Chris Curtis, Ivory Irvin. I think they pretty much nailed it on the receivers. What do you think?
There's one person that I'm actually a little surprised that didn't make the team. I would say John Blades from Las Vegas. Over 1,000 receiving yards. He had 6 touchdowns. He would be my surprise pick that actually didn't make the team as much. Fox Highland as well. He had a good shot as a rookie, over there in London with 9 touchdowns and just under 1,000 yards. But overall, I think the wide receivers, it's tough. We're in a great category of players, and no matter what, someone's going to be pissed off that they're not going to make the team.
Well, of course, yeah. That's just the way it goes. And think wide receivers the most position on the team anyway, so you definitely have your chance to be on there. Let me ask real quick, Soto, as you look at this list of big name wide receivers all the way through, does anything stand out from you, or do you also have anybody that you think should have made it and did not make it?
Yeah, especially in the West squad. When you look at Denver, Logan Keel, and especially, he contributed over 1,000 yards. That's barely 1,000 yards of those 3,800 passing yards from Josh Miller. But the thing is, when you get to this, man, it's like, who do you take out? Do you take out Stephen Hacker, who also had 69 receptions? It's only like I think 81 yards, lower than receiving yards, lower than Keel. I mean, who do you start taking out? And that's a thing. But that's the only one. Looking at it right here and looking at stats, definitely Hacker had more reception, more receiving TDs than Keel, but that's the only one that I look at. And when I was looking at this, I'm like, wow, I would have thought, because Denver was such a high-powered offense all year, to have, at least a wide receiver there, so Josh Miller could team up with him and, throw him some passes in the All-Star game. But yeah, that's the only one that kind of stands out right now.
Okay. Frank, let me drag you back in here for a moment. When you look at the whole receiving core as a whole, wide receivers and tight ends, who do you think has the advantage between the East and the West?
I would have to say probably the West. Probably the West. You got Daggs and Williams, and then any one of those receivers is you'd want to have on your team. And going back to what Soto said and Eagle about Logan, Keel, and Blades, I mean, they should be in there too. But again, like Soto said, who do you take out? Very talented receiving core and the two tight ends. I think the two tight ends is what really makes it.
Do you think that when you come down to splitting hairs, like he was talking about Hacker and Peel, I believe, do you think it comes down to maybe who's more valuable to their team, who's made a bigger impact on their team, maybe who's made bigger plays? What do you think the splitting hair process is there?
I think the one who's had the bigger impact on their team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, Frank, thank you, bro. Hey, Gunny, let me pull you in here for a second. You around? Is Gunny here? Is he back yet? No? All right, I'm going to skip. I'm going to go to Benjamin Warner. Benjamin G. Streeter, T. Roy Gaines. First, you've got Warren Murray and Robert Redford in the West, but then you've got rookie for as far as a fullback, Cameron Collier, also from Lone Star Glory, by the way, and Iggy Swift. I believe Iggy's also a rookie. So 2 rookie fullbacks and 4 dynamic running backs. What do you think about the running back core on this All-Star game?
It's it's incredible. I mean, just Reggie Streeter and T. Roy Gaines together, that's going to be a deadly combo. I was a little bit shocked that Colin Hart didn't get selected. He averaged 6.8 yards per carry, over 1,500 yards. But other than that, I don't think there were any snubs at the running back position. Warren Murray, Robert Redford, that's going to be another deadly combo. But it will be really interesting to see Reggie Streeter in this game because he has 2 of his offensive linemen leading the way, and also with Leonard Butler and Rudy Ray Dunn. So I think Reggie Streeter is gonna have a huge game.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think Colin Hart was a good observation as well. Gunny, are you back with us?
I am.
Dude, you got no Sioux Falls guys here. Am I missing? I'm looking at Sioux Falls. No quarterbacks, no running backs.
They're on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, no fullbacks. Nobody on the offensive side. You think Colin Hart got snubbed?
I like him, but I like the other ones are well deserving too.
Okay. Anything else stand out to you as far as the running backs, fullbacks, or even the receivers, tight ends, and quarterbacks on the offensive side of the ball?
I was thinking maybe Logan Jack, because he had, I believe, the most receptions for a running back, but that was the only thing that jumped out at me a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Eddie Gage here. Eddie, let's flip over to defense for a minute. As you look at both rosters for the East and the West, anything stand out to you like, dang, that guy's going to have a big game, or I can't believe this guy didn't make it, anything like that?
Looking at the defense, well, first of all, I got to sneak this in here, Dave.
Go ahead.
I mean, if you look at London and any coach who prepares to play them, everyone knows that their offense is predicated around Fox Highwind. And I know he's not a big name out here, but how did that guy not make the Pro Bowl? I have no idea. But I digress. What was your question about the defense? I'm sorry.
I just want to know if, as you look at both, does anything stand out to you like, oh my gosh, this guy's going to have a huge game, or maybe somebody you think should have made it that didn't make it on the defensive side of the ball?
Okay, to answer your question in regards to that, it all depends on what kind of system, because we just don't know. I don't know much about these coaches, so I'm interested to see how Tank Bennett does, because every year he's one of the league leaders in tackles, despite the fact that he's playing deep in the secondary. So, I was wondering how he would transition his play when he decided to stick around and play with Louisiana once Nola was bought out, and he still had a good game. A good season in regards to tackles. So I'm very interested to see how his player performs with his new coach over here on the All-Star game. Will he still be, one of the league leaders and tacklers, for the game? But as far as that goes, I mean, it's like I said, it's just hard to tell because you don't know how these coaches are going to use these guys.
I mean, I'm
also kind of interested to see how Heath McDaniel. I know he's on the offense, but I'm also interested to see how Heath McDaniel is going to do in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I'm looking at these defensive lines, Eddie. I'm seeing some really big names. I'm seeing the tandem from Jacksonville. I'm seeing Jeff Duffy, Luther.
That's another one,
right? And then you go to the other side. You got Rhett Sawyer. You got Jukin Rukin, Leah Dama. I mean, it just doesn't stop all the way down to Des Troyer and Catherine Harrell.
I want to see how Hunter does, how Hunter Norwood does. With a different coach.
Well, he's teamed up with his buddy on the line, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I think those two. On one side with Jukin and Adama on the other side is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Jack Brown, since we're talking about the defensive side of the ball, and since you're on one of these rosters, let's talk about your linebacking core for a minute. You're teamed up with J.R. Lawless, who is not only a beast on the field, but a great person. You got Gronick over there. On the other side of the ball, you got DJ Majesty, Nick Fargo, and Brody Gulch. Who's got the linebacker advantage in this game?
Now look, it may look on the outset that the West has the advantage here. I'm not drunk. But you see here, Dave, we got some good stuff here out east. We got, of course, Jack Brown, Trevon Prasad, Chuck Diesel, J.R. Lawless, of course, gonna probably play a lot of coverage. He's gonna be dropping back a lot. Gronick, kind of almost playing like that glorified DN style of linebacker. It may not have the biggest names at the linebacking position, because the other side, they got DJ Majesty, Fargo, Loveless, Gulch.
Yeah. Mel Davis, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not to say that we're absolutely better, but there is certainly a case to be made with the Eastern team. And the one kind of like surprise exemption from the All-Star game is Chicago's Buddy Blaze. Now, Buddy Blaze, he had a pretty dang good season.
Yeah, he did.
Right up there with tackles, with most everyone else. And he also, if I remember correctly, he had a forced fumble. He had, I think it was like 4 tackles for loss. Now, he may not have been the absolute best pick, but I think, had they kind of thought some things over and maybe switch some things around, I could totally see Buddy Blaze making it into the All-Star game. The dude has some talent.
Yeah, he does.
I'm telling you.
He does. Yeah, that's actually a great point there. Tyler, let me wrap up this first round with you. As you look at the DBs, again, a lot of big names, right? Evan Arthur, Ron Hoff, Tank Bennett. Jack Russell, who was Diva of the Week, by the way, throw that in there. And then you got Jay Ringgold, Josh Vasquez, Max Jackson, and of course Lincoln Kingseed from your glorious Lone Star Glory. I mean, there's just a lot of big names too. You see an advantage one side or the other in the defensive backfield?
I think it's going to be pretty even. I like the lineup they have here. I think the only if there was a snub, I think Nicky Colantrell probably was a little bit of a snub there for the free safety slot, but no, he's probably the first one out in terms of all that. But I think if I'm allowed to say anything on the coaching side, I have a pretty big take there more than anything defensive back wise. If you want to hear it,
Yeah, go ahead.
So the coaches just got released. Congratulations go out to. Let me grab that because that just got released here within the.
Yeah, we got Jacob and Jacob on one side. I saw.
Yep, Jacob Clear, Jacob Bovet, and then Tanner Hendricks and Jack Wigmore on the east side of the ball. But I think there's one name on there that really shined throughout the entire later half of the season, and I think deserved a second look, and I think that was Mike Twinscrew. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised not to see his name on it'd be the East coaching staff. So I'm pretty surprised there.
Yeah, that's actually a great point too. Twinscrew just crushed it the last 2/3 of the season, I think, and was up for him and his coaching staff was up for coaching staff of the year too. So that's another great point. Hey Charles, let me come back around to you. We tease that, kickers need love, kickers aren't people, yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing, right? Anthony Cece, 29 for 29. Marcus Agrippa, the best punter in the SFL. He might still be the only punter in the SFL. But if it comes down to a close game, does the West have the advantage with Kramer Jackman?
Yeah, I think so, because Kramer Jackman, he missed a field goal like in 1962.
Before he was born, he missed.
Yeah. So
yeah,
there's a key point here. I don't know if you're going to ask it, so I don't want to maybe go off your agenda.
No, do your thing. No, do your thing.
One of the things when I'm looking at the East squad versus the West, on the East you've got Giovanni Bolt is your returner on both sides, which is great. He's a great returner. But on the West side, you've got you've got
AJ Levy.
You've got AJ Levy, but you also have Gabriel Manning. So I think that the nod might go to the West there. So if it's a close game, which I anticipate, I think that you've got the kicker that hasn't missed since 1962. Plus, you've got two studs on punt return and on kick return that may turn the tide.
That's a great point. Benji, let me follow up with you on what Charles just said. Two great kickers. Kramer Jackman, though, definite future Hall of Famer. But what do you think about what Charles just said with the West having the advantage, having Gabriel Manning and AJ Levy, as opposed to the East only having Giovanni Bolt?
Yeah, that's really interesting. I saw on the listing for the All-Stars, they're listed, of course, at their original positions too. Do we know that will they be playing in the game at all? Will Gabriel Manning be lining up as a wide receiver? Will Bolt be playing any wide receiver?
Yeah, well, the way it says on here, it has Gabriel Manning as wide receiver / punt returner, and then down at the bottom it has AJ Levy as strong safety / kick returner. So Manning should be doing punts, AJ Levy doing kicks.
It could be huge momentum shifting plays from those positions for sure. I remember not dogging it at all on AJ. He's awesome, had a fantastic year, but I did remember a few costly turnovers on some returns where some a ball or two were fumbled just at really tough times. So it'd just be really interesting to see if those guys get into the game and are playing regular snaps. Does conditioning come into a factor at all, or these guys are just going to be super fresh running out there and making huge plays in the return game? We saw Gabriel Manning and Bolt too in that championship game. I thought that was a fantastic return, but Gabriel Manning's just like could go off at any second, and one of those returners could be a key to securing victory for their squad.
Yeah, it could. You know what, Coach? Let me go to you real quick. Let me twist what Charles said, and let me kind of flip it and reverse it. Does the East actually have an advantage with Giovanni Bolt, doing both things with the season he had and the postseason he had, as opposed to Manning and AJ Levy having to actually split time?
I don't think so. The area that I could see an advantage is just if you've got a long drive or something, and Bolt's on the field the whole time, and then they score, and they're kicking off to him, and he's a little bit fatigued. And so, to me, that's a disadvantage that could be happening for the East. That's just another little small layer of disadvantage. Same thing could be happening, though, for the West if the East has a long drive, Levy's on the field a lot, and then has to return a kick when he's kind of tired.
That's a good point, too.
So that's about the only area that I could see some of those things coming into play. Otherwise, all three of those guys, Bolt, Manning, Levy, good point about him having some turnovers, but maybe he just got him out of his system and he's not ever going to have one again. Who knows? But to me, all three of those guys are interchangeable. They're explosive kick returners at any time, could take it back and change the course of the game. So, I don't see a huge advantage either way.
Okay. Johnny, let me follow up with, I think it was Tyler that brought up the coaching situation. He gave some props to your coach this past season in Mike Twinscrew that he should have been considered, and maybe he was and he turned it down. We don't know what the behind the scenes. But what do you think about Tanner Hendricks and Jack Wigmore versus Jacob Clear and Jacob Bouvet? Do you see an advantage or disadvantage in the coaching aspect?
First, just to address the Twinscrew thing, yeah, I mean, he very well may have been deserving, and I think so. But that you can make, goes back to that quarterback argument. If you coached a half a season, just like Wigmore played a half a season, so
Right.
so maybe you don't have that entire resume there. But no, I mean, I think it's a pretty, but maybe I'm just speaking ignorantly. I think it's a pretty fair coaching matchup. I don't know what all these. I mean, you analysts and and coaching vets and Eddie and stuff might know better of what these guys' specialties are when it comes to offensive side of the ball versus defensive side of the ball, because that matters. I mean, I know that when I played in the All-Star game last year, I struggled a lot, but that's because Eddie Gage was running the offense.
Let's see, Eddie Gage, does he come off of mute for that? Nope, he didn't. You didn't get him.
You know what? That was my first ever game coaching offense. So you're welcome.
I love you. That's for the handoff comments, baby.
Oh, there you go. Tit for tat, baby, on the show. Tit for tat. Real quick, I want to say the commish is in the chat. He said, where'd it go? He said they actually asked for coaches. Nobody was hand selected by the league. The coaches were volunteers. So, Cam, thanks for bringing that to our attention. Appreciate that. Eagle, let me head over to you. Going back to the defensive side of the ball, we briefly talked about the line, some of the linebackers, and the defensive backs. As you see the defenses as a whole, and it's kind of the same question I asked Eddie Gage, you see anybody that maybe was deserving and got left off, or do you see anybody on here that pops out and you're like, oh my gosh, that guy's going to have a humongous game?
I'm actually looking at the West a little bit at Max Jackson with his pass deflections, his interceptions, his interception return for a touchdown in the year. Him and Kingseed at the strong safety. Between the two of them, they've got over 200 tackles. That's really what I'm looking at the strong side for the West. I mean, you look at the East as well. They've got Tank Bennett and they've got Jack Russell. I mean, it could be a coin flip, to be honest, on the defensive side. I don't really see any defensive players that personally are missing, in my opinion. Everybody I feel has made the team because they deserve to be out there.
Okay. Soto, let me go to you. Eagle said he really likes that West defense, and he gave some examples. If you have it in front of you, or if you have seen it, what do you think about the East defense, though? I mean, I'm looking at the tandem from Jacksonville. I'm looking at Jeff Duffy. I'm looking at Luther Gunn. Chuck Diesel. J.R. Lawless. These are not. None of these guys are Evan Arthur, for God's sake. These are not slouches, bro.
No, they're not, definitely. And I think somebody mentioned it before. I think it's a great defense. I really do. The only thing, if I was to pinpoint something, would be one of my teammates from Chicago would have been, like somebody mentioned it before, Buddy Blaze. That would be the only thing. But it's, man, statistically, most of these guys are so close. And the nation does the SFL Nation does a good thing about, getting these guys on the All-Star team and voting and so forth. But it's just, who do you take out? Who do you take out? So, I mean, like Buddy Blaze, 12 games, 10 tackles, 10 plus tackles per game, 127 total tackles, 93, solo tackles by himself, 34 assists. You can just go with the top. You got DJ Majesty, Mel Davis, Jack Brown. Mel Davis, of course, being from the West, but some of these guys in total, you got Buddy Blaze literally as the fourth linebacker with the best stats, and he's not even in that East squad. But again, who do you take out? No, I think it's the All-Star game, man. They're all killers. It's just gonna be interesting to see how these defenses match up with these great quarterbacks, and especially the running backs and fullbacks and tight ends. I think like we talked about the tight ends. It's the year of the tight end. How are these defenses that are good? Right. How are they going to match up with the streeters? With with the quarterbacks, with the tight ends, on the opposing team, and I think that's really going to be tough. I think it'll be a close game, but I think it's going to be a shootout of a close game.
Okay, speaking of close games, Frank, let me go back to you for a second. Do you think the All-Star game being played in Baltimore, and you've got T-Roy Gaines, you got Ivory Irvin, you've got Giovanni Bolt, I'm sure there's a couple more in here, Tucker Lewis. Does that give the East an advantage with that many Baltimore guys playing at home?
I don't think so. I'm sure they want to perform well in front of the crowd, but I don't think it's going to be an advantage for them at all.
Eddie Gage, let me ask you, same question, but let me ask it from not just having the Baltimore guys on your team, but what about for the coaches that get to coach these Baltimore guys at home? Is there going to be an advantage for those coaches?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, everyone brings up the home field advantage thing, but if you look at the last two playoff games, they were both won by the road team. So I think it's just going to come down to coaching and execution. And I want to piggyback on that last question you asked about the defenses. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I believe in terms of the defensive line, the East has a slight notch, but in terms of playmakers and creating turnovers and stuff like that and excitement, I believe the West has the better players, and I'm very interested to see how they get used and what kind of scheme they use defensively.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I'm a wide receiver. I love the offensive side of the ball, but when I see these big names on defense, I get kind of excited. I'm kind of looking forward to the defensive side of the ball in this game, Eddie. Gunny, Gunny, you know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to actually go to you in a second for your pearls of wisdom. Let me bring Benjamin Warner back in real quick. Benjamin, as you see the rosters, as an overview, we've talked a lot of stuff already. We've broken down the offense, we've broken down the defense, we've broken down the special teams, the coaching, and then even the fact that Baltimore is able to play at home. Anything that we've missed tonight, or anything stand out to you that wasn't mentioned?
Yeah, someone pointed this out in the chat. At the running back position, McChesney was kind of snubbed. I think that could be a case. He had 21 touchdowns this year. The only factor I think against that is he only averaged about 5.4 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. Running backs which had over 6 yards a carry. But other than that, I thought the commissioner picked the rosters well. And I'm really excited to see both these teams go at it.
Okay, Jack Brown, same question to you, bro. Is Jack Brown with us?
In terms of, sorry, could you repeat that real quick?
Yeah, just as we've already broken a lot of things down: offense, defense,
Mm.
special teams, coaching. As you do an overview look of all the rosters, does anything else stand out to you that maybe we didn't hit on tonight?
No, most of our analysis, as far as from my cursory glance, it's gonna be an interesting game. I think the main battle that's gonna develop is gonna be the East run game versus that defensive front seven of the West, because the West, the defensive line is ferocious. Their linebacking core almost equally so. Meanwhile, in the East, you have Reggie Streeter and T. Roy Gaines, one of the best 1-2 punches of SFL running backs you could ever have. That's probably going to be where the game is won or lost.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, and you're right. I was fixated on the defense there, but now I'm looking at running backs, and I'm fixated. I'm looking at receivers. I mean, it's just an all-star cast for an all-star game all the way around. Tyler, before I get to you, I want to see if Cam is still listening in the chat. Cam, I see that the all-star game is Sunday, December 6th. Do we have a time on that yet? If we do, could you throw it in the chat so I can let everybody know? Tyler, same question to you, and this is going to wrap this portion of the show up. Anything we didn't get to or anything else stand out that you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm just excited to see all these fantastic players play against each other. The best of the best of the SFL.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. As we wait on Cam's answer, if he's still around, let's go see Gunny for a minute. Gunny, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Gunny, before we hit your pearls of wisdom, anything else you want to comment on this All-Star game?
No, that's going to be part of the Pearls of Wisdom.
Perfect. Let me set you up here, and you are ready to rock and roll. I'm ready when you are.
Hey, good evening, SFL. Congratulations to all the All-Stars for the season 15. I do believe, Cam might correct me on this, but it looks like every team is represented in the All-Star game, which I think is outstanding. Also, congratulations to my Lone Star defensive unit All-Stars, Jukin Rukin and Lincoln Kingseed. I hope to join all you guys in an All-Star game one time, but that's after Lone Star wins a championship. And with that, I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. And with that, that is all.
Awesome, Gunny. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving as well. All right, so this is the Thanksgiving special. So we're going to save the last half hour of the show to talk about things that we're thankful for. Oh, here we go. Real quick. Cam said, no time yet. Probably will be in the afternoon window, sometime between 3 and 6 o'clock Eastern. So keep that in mind for the All-Star game next weekend. We're going to do... we're gonna go through the panel, and anybody that wants to pop on or throw in the chat things that they are thankful for as well. I'm gonna ask each member of the panel to give me something they are thankful for in the SFL and something they're thankful for outside of the SFL. And I'm gonna kick this off actually. I don't know if you're looking at your screens or not, but I want to tell you that my youngest son lives only a couple hours away from me. And I was able to see him a few times in the last few months. My youngest son, though, is coming out, and I'm going to see him tomorrow for the first time in over a year. And I'm just super excited and thankful that my family is coming out to spend Thanksgiving together, and we'll be able to spend Thanksgiving as a family. And I just threw up on the show if you're looking at your monitors there, my oldest son who arrived this evening with his girlfriend made an Axis mug for me. So a mug, my mug is on a mug. How about that? I thought it was really, and it wasn't a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. It was a just because gift. So I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful that they're safe, and I'm very thankful that they are coming to spend Thanksgiving with us. As far as in the SFL, I actually have a lot to be thankful for. I'm very thankful that Coach dragged me along to Lone Star last free agency. I'm very thankful that Charles and Wally have given me the opportunity to be the general manager of Lone Star. I'm very thankful for the roster that we have, returning at least 18, potentially 19 of our 20 players. I'm very thankful for this show that I would not have without the SFL. I'm thankful for Johnny Pickler for helping me get started on how to do a show. Again, without the SFL and without Johnny, I would not have Access Live. I wouldn't have the show to do. I'm also very, very thankful to all the listeners, all the supporters, how everyone is here every Tuesday, every Thursday. I mean, the numbers are good every single week, and I feel very fortunate. And lastly, I'm very thankful for winning the ambassador of the Community Ambassador of the Year award voted by you guys. Something I wasn't really expecting, but something I'm very thankful for. So in the kind of terrible 2020 that we have all had over the last, since about January, almost the entire year, I feel like I have a lot to be thankful for, and a lot of it is centered around this league and the people inside of it. So I just want to thank all of you tonight for being here, not just on the show, but in the league as well. All right, that being said, let me read a couple of these before I get to the panel. It looks like Doug Britton said he is thankful for Slynn in Vegas taking a chance on him in life. He's thankful for all the scholarships and companies that give those scholarships to his daughter, and he's thankful for his wife and his team at Vancouver. Jack Lewis is thankful for the San Jose flight locker room. Is that Tom Rahman? Looks like it's Tom Rahman. Is thankful for everyone for puts time and effort into the SFL. It means a lot to a lot of people, and everything is important to this league. And then is that it? No, I think that's it. And then I'm going to get to some more. I'm going to wrap up the show with a few other thanks, but let me get on to the panel now. I'm just going to start at the top. Benjamin Warner, you're first in the alphabet, so you're gonna go first tonight, buddy. Give me something you're thankful for in the SFL and something you are thankful for outside of the SFL.
So in the SFL, first of all, I have a couple. I'm really thankful for Cam because without him, this league possible. The amount of time and effort he puts in each and every week to make the great production that this league is just incredible. I'm also thankful for, obviously I'm not on the team anymore, but Chicago for taking a chance on me. Without them, I wouldn't be in the majors. So, and lastly, Khalil Thomas, who is one of the great friend that I've made in the league. We had a lot of fun doing the show together. And outside the SFL, first of all, I'm thankful for my parents. I'm also thankful for the men and women who protect this country each and every day in the military, because just protecting our freedoms. And I know a lot of them won't be able to be at home this Thanksgiving, but just know that we're with you guys and we're praying for you, for your safety. And thank you very much.
All right, Benjamin, thank you. Benji Matson, you're up next in the alphabet, mister. Give me something you're thankful for in the SFL and something you're thankful for outside of the SFL.
Yeah, sure. Well spoken, Mr. Benjamin Warner. My two kind of go together. I'm thankful for this league in general. We all have found the SFL in unique and mysterious ways, or the SFL has found some of us in unique and mysterious ways. And so it serves a purpose for all of us for some strange reason. What first drew me in was just the production, like Benjamin had mentioned, and everything that Cam puts into it, and all the crews behind the scenes. It was amazing. But spending time here, it's been quite evident that what I really appreciate the most about the SFL is the community and everyone that's in here listening to the chat, that tunes into Dave's show, that listens to all the awesome content creators and their shows, and everyone who makes this league great. It's fantastic. And I'm very appreciative for all of you guys tonight. I lost my dad suddenly a week and a half ago with very little warning, and it's been really rough. And I would like to say that I appreciate those of you out there who reached out. That meant a lot. I'm not crying. Just got punched in the eye there really fast, but it really did. It really did mean a lot in the corniest way. I know we're celebrating a video game league here, a simulation football league, but I think it's the relationships that we're all making are what really is important. So that's very much what I'm thankful for tonight, and thankful for my beautiful wife as well. She might be listening just to make sure I'm doing what I told her I was going to be doing. So Love you, lady. And thankful for all you guys tonight. Really appreciate it. And anyone that's out there who's going through anything, I know some of us are sick and struggling with COVID, but if you are struggling or you're down and out, you're feeling depressed or alone on the holidays, just reach out and talk to someone. I'm raising my hand right now. If you need someone to talk to, my DMs are open, so just slide right on in. And I'll be happy to talk with any of you guys if you need an ear or just want to talk about anything. So appreciate you guys.
Awesome, Benji. Thank you for all of that. And I think I speak for everyone on the show and everyone listening when we offer our condolences to you and your family for the loss of your father. I want to also throw out, before I go to Charles, will be next. Before I get to Charles, let me throw out a couple more from the chat. J37, thank you for this effing league. More incredible than words can express, and for my beautiful wife and 3 knuckleheaded babies. Top Hat 1023, I'm thankful for my wife and kids and grandchildren and my SFL family and my Louisiana Revolution family. Great1.com 2003, thankful for family. 2020 and COVID make it even more poignant. Swole, I'm thankful for meeting such incredible friends in the SFL. Dynasty, thankful for my family is healthy and that I have the SFL as a community to turn to. Big Dog 44, thankful for our foster kid that entered our life last week. Wow, that's great, bud. Congrats on that. And then Coco, the Rapid Raccoon, I'm thankful for my wife, children, BHB, SSF, and Gunny's Pearls of Wisdom. Awesome. I'll get to some more of you in a moment. But let me go to Charles next. Charles, give me something that you're thankful for in the SFL and something you're thankful for outside of the SFL.
Can I have more than one?
That's your limit, bro. You know the rules. Come on.
All right. So first of all, I'm thankful that I just know the ambassador of SFL. I'm thankful to Coach for helping out on the team. I'm thankful for Wally for being my co-owner, Lone Star staff, and all the hard work they do, coaching, staffing, scouting, the Lone Star locker room. I think we got one of the best, if not the best, locker room in the league. The league office in the SFL, all the hard work they do. My family, the military, the police, first responders, and medical professionals that have to put up with all this craziness in 2020. God bless you all.
Great answer. Coach, let's go to you next. Give me something that you were thankful for inside the NFL and outside the NFL. Oh, Coach, you muted.
I'm thankful that I could have a minute to find the mute button.
And unmute yourself. I think we're all thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, well, Benji derailed me a little bit. Thanks for that, Benji. No,
yeah.
Bear with me here. I've said many times I joined the league about a week after my brother died. One of my brothers died. And then I lost another brother about a month after that. And the league has been a constant all along. Been a good thing for me. Been a place, we sit here and fight about some of the dumbest crap, but we're a family and we're in it together. And, it's good for all of us. I'm thankful, Dave, that you followed me to Lone Star, that you didn't hesitate all that long when I said, hey, come do this, and everybody else that came with us. I'm thankful for my team. I'm thankful for Charles and Wally for putting us together and allowing us to do our thing, giving us so much freedom and empowerment within the league. And then a lot of my outside the league stuff kind of bleeds over. I got some rotten news today. I didn't get a job that I really thought I had a good shot at, and I don't have a lot that I feel like I'm thankful for outside of the league, except I've got some friends that really do care about me, and they pick me up or kick me in the butt if I need it. And Charles is one of those guys, and then one of those guys that was a friend outside the league that has come in, Cameron Collier, done the same thing. And I've got a lot. I could ramble for a while and probably completely come unglued, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm thankful for a lot of things, a lot more things than I thought I was before I started talking, even. So,
well, that's good. It's good to shed some light on those things, Coach. Thank you very much. We appreciate you a lot. Before I get on to Eagle and Eddie, let me read some more thank yous or thankfuls from the chat. Cam, the commissioner, I am thankful for all of the great people in this league. The community helps keep me going, gives me motivation to be the best, and makes this league special. I'm thankful to team owners whose dedication to their franchises, to their players, and to the league at large often goes extremely under the radar. Outside of the SFL, I am thankful for my health. We have some key SFL members and their families dealing with COVID or who have dealt with COVID, and I have been fortunate to be perfectly healthy all year long. Where else did I leave off? I said, Hubba Breezy. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm thankful for the SFL communities in times like these where I'm stuck at home trying not to get sick. I lost my youth, my job, and my cousin in 2020, but I have friends in the SFL and the SFLM. I'm thankful that my wife and kids have been okay through this year. Jason France. I'm super thankful for finding the SFL and for the opportunities my coaches have given my player and the opportunities the league has provided me, and I'm thankful for having a healthy family. Bob Funk. I'm thankful for all the people I've met here in the league, whether it's teammates or people in the Axis server. In real life, I'm thankful for my girlfriend and my family's health. And then Chucky B. I'm very thankful that I found the SFL over the summer. This league and community has added lots of positivity and happiness to my life during a very difficult year, and I have made legitimate friends here that will last a lifetime. Those are all great. Eagle, give me something that you are thankful for inside the SFL and something you're thankful for outside of the SFL.
Oh man, it's like my 2020 has been up and down, like everybody's, right? Inside the SFL, I was just at my brewing one day, and I saw the season 14 draft on the TV, and I was like, what is this? And I was hooked. And I got Winkler, and we joined the league, and we've been together for almost 30 years now as best friends. So, but inside the SFL, it's like the friendships that I've made throughout the league so far in my one season have been fantastic. Dwayne, Colin, Drew, and St. Louis have given me, a lot of faith in making me general manager, just after my rookie season. As we're trying to turn the page in St. Louis, it's a lot, it's a lot. I was laid off for COVID. I was out of work for 6 months. Towards the end of 6 months, Elsie was born. Fantastic, right? I went back to work. I was at work for 3 weeks. I tore my ACL. So it's been up and down. I'm going to be going into surgery probably next month for my ACL, and we'll be out of work for another 3 months at least. But at least the SFL has been positive and happy. I've been on this show as much as I can. It's kind of been a little bit not as much lately just because of Elsie with the newborn, which happens and everything. And, outside of the SFL, I love Elsie. I love my wife, Michelle. I love my best friends. And everybody who I've met in the SFL has been fantastic to me and great over these last few months in my journey.
Awesome. Before I go to Eddie Gage, there was another comment I wanted to read real quick. Great1.com. He said, as a newbie here, it is cool to hear the connections and support. Much love all. We do have a fantastic community here, bro. Eddie Gage, give me something that you are thankful for in the SFL and something outside the SFL.
I say this a million times, but I want to thank Cam and everyone on the league staff who makes this thing go. I remember this thing started and it was like maybe 6-8 people watching the game, and now it's grown so big. And as I tell Cam all the time, this thing is going to get even bigger, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I want to thank TJ Speaks for introducing me to the league. He's the owner or co-owner of Baltimore. If not for him, I would have never found this place. That was back in season 3 and season 9. He hired me to be his defensive coordinator. Then he left for a brief hiatus, and I want to thank DR Sim for hiring me as his defensive coordinator seasons 10 through 13. When he knew I wanted to get my own team, he made me his co-owner when he did not have to do that. So I'd like to thank him for that, as I've done a million times. Once I finally got a team, it wasn't because I was, finally voted in, because it wasn't sure I was going to get one. So I'd like to thank Cam's dad, Tiberius Bovine, for allowing me to purchase the OKC franchise from him. That's one of my biggest, achievements as far as SFL goes, because at one point I didn't think I would ever get a team, and the day that happened, man, I sent him the money before the league even approved the sale. I sent him the money because I was just that serious about it. So thank you to him. I'd like to thank the players who continue to stay in Arizona, despite our record this season and the first season. They continue to believe in me and have faith that I'm going to turn this thing around. And I know it's not, always fun to be a part of a team that's not a part of the playoff conversation, and yet they continue to ride with me. And I always ask them what their reasons are, and I've gotten various reasons as to why they continue to stay with me. And I love them for it because it's so stressful. And one of my biggest fears, coaching, and now I'm coaching offense and defense, is letting these guys down. It's always been my biggest fear. It's something I always live with. And when we win, man, it just makes it all worth it. But when we lose, it sucks. But I'm going to get this thing turned around, Arizona. And I thank y'all for continuing to have faith in me. Without you all, I wouldn't have a team, because without the players, there is no Scorpions. So thank you guys for that. The SFL is it's like, I think someone mentioned this, it's like an escape from reality, man. Sometimes you're just going through something. 2020 sucks. I've lost 2 relatives with COVID this season this year, and it sucks, man. I mean, it's crazy how it affects some people, much, and other people just outright kills, man. And it sucks that we had to go through that, but my faith in Christianity, I get through it, and it's just a blessing to be here. I've traveled a lot, for work, and I've met a lot of guys in the SFL, and it's been a blessing. I always try to get photos. When the first time I came back without a photo, both Cam and my wife cussed me out for not getting a picture with them. So, it's great, to have those moments, to take those photos with people. So I thank those guys for participating with it. As far as outside the SFL, I started not to even mention some of this stuff, but some people are really laying out, so I feel obligated to do my part. But growing up, I didn't, I wasn't blessed with the best. When I was born, my parents stayed in the projects, and I thought roaches and rats was a common theme until one day, as I got older, my dad was having a conversation with me about doing something to better myself. And I was like, for what? Look around us. I mean, what's to strive for? And one day he took me out to the suburbs, and I was just so in awe of how the streets were clean and smooth, and the sky seemed brighter out there, and the houses looked nice. I'm like, wow. I mean, I never knew this existed. And so from that point on, before that, I was doing things. I'm not going to put on recording out here, but I was doing things to make a living to feed our family. And, as a result of it, my father got stabbed, slid across the face. And, I don't want to talk about that too much because it brings tears to my eyes because I got to look at that crap every day. But I said I was going to get out of that. And I ended up having to, because I had people looking for me. So I went to the military. In the military, I honestly saved my life, because it taught me discipline, while I was escaping people who were looking to, in my life. So the military blessed me twofold. And if it wasn't for the military, I don't know where I'd be, if I even be here. So thank you to everyone who served, like someone else said also. But when I got out the military, I knew I had to do something. Because I didn't want to stay, because I wanted to raise a family without having to worry about relocating kids every 4 years. So when I got out, I went to school, got a degree, and that worked until the recession of 2008, when I lost 3 jobs in less than 12 months. And so I went back to school for computer networking, information security, and I don't want to say I'm rich or anything like that, but because of that, and rental property, I'm blessed beyond measure, man. Me and my wife are doing good financially, and I'm just blessed because, man, at one point you know, I'm kind of getting emotional right now, but at one point, you know, in my life, you know, I had 2 pair of jeans to last me a week, and it was not good. But you know, so my kids don't have to experience that lifestyle, and I made it a point. I didn't have my first child till I was 30, and I was always scared to have kids because I didn't want them growing up, you know, dealing with what I had to go through. And now, you know, knock on wood, by the grace of God, they don't have to. I'm also thankful for the individual who helped me. They risked their career, helping me to find my daughter who just went to the military. God bless her. She was kidnapped when she was 10, and it took me almost 6 months to find her. And if not for her putting her job on the line, I don't know if I would know where she's at today. So I want to give a shout out to her. I know she's probably not listening, but kudos, because she literally put her job on the line to help me find her, and God bless her. That's all I got.
All right. That's amazing stuff, Eddie. Thanks for sharing and thanks for opening up to everybody. Appreciate that. Before I go to Frank, there's a couple more I'd like to read from the chat. CCR71. I'm thankful for the SFL, for the friendships I have made. Have enjoyed the great conversations I have had. Thanking TJ for giving me a chance to learn from him, and thankful London has given me a chance to turn things around. Wiggy 9800, is that? I think that might be Jack Wigmore. Thankful for my Baltimore family. Glad we could get the championship this year. Glad I found the SFL. Only been here for just over a year, but it feels like 20. Isn't that the fact? Thankful for my parents and my sister. I'm really glad I have them, especially this year. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Vultures. Frank the Franchise Wade. Give me something that you're thankful for in the SFL and something outside the SFL.
I'm thankful for, as far as SFL goes, I'm thankful for finding the league. My son and I were just scrolling through one day and saw it, and we were interested in it, and I joined, and about a month later he joined. I get to be in the minors with a great group of guys, the demo crew from Annapolis, and then very thankful for a guy, Slyn Shady, for taking a chance on me and drafting me. You got a defensive back coming into the draft and wanting to be a receiver, and you draft me as a tight end. I'm very thankful for that, and getting to meet him and being part of a good rookie class. And then moving on and wondering what my next adventure is going to be in this league. I'm thankful for to be able to be on this show. It just started off by doing I wanted to do a 4-round mock draft and get it out there so other guys can see their name and get excited and everything. And ended up being able to be on this show as a regular and be with another great group of guys as far as Scouts Inc. goes and things like that. It's carried over into other adventures as well. As far as my life, I couldn't be more thankful for a beautiful wife and 4 just great, beautiful kids that just love spending time with their parents. I'm thankful that my 2 middle children are just an hour away in college, and they're home for the Thanksgiving break. My daughter, who just got married to a great guy, he's going to be an awesome son-in-law, and I know he's going to take care of her. Just got back from their honeymoon, and they're just about 10 minutes away from us and everything. And then my littlest one, I keep telling her she can't get any older. She's 14, and I want to keep her that way. But I just know she's going to grow up too. But I'm very thankful for that, and I'm very thankful for this country and the people who defend it. And I just am blessed to be able to be a part of the SFL, be blessed to be a part of this nation, be blessed to be a part of this great family that I live in.
Yeah, Frank, first of all, congrats on the daughter wedding again.
Thank you.
But also, you know what? Thank you to you. And like I said the other night, to all the regulars, the panelists, the guests that come on this show. I'm thankful to all of you. And so, Frank, thanks for being on so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Soto. Greg Soto. Give me something that you are thankful for in the SFL and something outside the SFL.
Well, in the SFL, I want to thank everybody that helps with the SFL. I found the SFL in a very dark time in my life this past year in 2020. So I'm grateful for just being able to stumble upon it on at the time my new Samsung TV, and I was just going through 11 Sports and seeing it, and I was like, what the hell is this? And being able to through the ups and downs in Chicago, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful where it's ended me up here in LSG as a coach. I'm grateful to have a great locker room that I believe the locker room that everybody should have. I think LSG locker room's awesome from the coaches, from the owners, the other players. It's just been fantastic. Having the best GM in the league also helps. I told you I was going to do that. It slipped me my 20 later. So no, it's just good overall. I mean, the content, like this show, meeting people has led to something that I wanted to do, in actually now being owner of a simulation soccer team as well in the SSF. And really, if it wasn't for the SFL, I wouldn't have known anybody to actually be now an owner. So I'm very thankful for the SFL as a whole, the product that's out there and the teams. It's great. It's exciting. And, I can't wait for season 16. So that's on the SFL side. On the personal side, like I said, I found the league this year going through a really dark time. I had a hell of a 2019, and it just seemed like 2020 was going to be the same. Lost my mother on Mother's Day in 2019. Got separated. Had to find my own place, start from scratch, leave my kids behind, and and just struggle. And then 2020, seemed like it was going to be just as bad. And I'm very thankful for everything that I've gone through. I'm grateful for all the dark times that I went through, because that way I was able to find Jesus Christ, got even closer to him, and through that was just thankful for my family. I was thankful that my wife and I were able to reconcile and get back together this year. For us, I think we're even stronger than we were before. Moved back. I'm grateful that I moved back to my home. Grateful to now be here with my kids, my wife. I have my in-laws in town this week. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for and thankful for my father still being in good health. And, just overall, I'm just thankful for everything in my life right now. My wife and my kids supporting me. I was laid off 2.5 months ago with a job that I really loved. I was one of 8 people. I'm even thankful for that, because if it wasn't for that, then my wife and I wouldn't have had the conversation about what do you want to do next with your life, and went to real estate school. I'm thankful for her pushing me through, helping me out. My wife is a nurse, and she's also a professor at a college here. She got me better study habits, so I'm thankful for that. I was able to pass my real estate school, and last week, with her help, very thankful for her, I was able to pass the national and state exam. So I am now a real estate agent. I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for Century 21, where I'm going to be starting my career. And yeah, that's it. Just I'm thankful for being healthy, thankful for being back home, having my family back, and all through God. Jesus Christ. That's it.
Wow, bro. Amazing story. What a year for you. What a year and a half for you. Thank you for sharing that on the show tonight. Really appreciate it. Gunny, you still with us? Yeah, you got her, Greg.
I am.
Okay. Real quick, before I go to you, Gunny, sorry. Frank, your kid said thanks, Dad, in the chat after you talked, by the way. Just want to let you know that. Gunny, give me something you're thankful for in the SFL and something outside of the SFL.
I'm thankful for Cameron Irvin. I enjoyed the phone call we had earlier this follows pretty awesome. When he answered the phone, he called me by my real name, which kind of took me by surprise. Yes, because my player name is named after my dad, which I lost last summer. But yeah, I'm thankful for Mark Chisholm. He was the first one to reach out to me when I joined the SFL, so I'm always going to be appreciative to him. Also to my teammates from Chicago and Lone Star, especially Doug Day and Brian Craven for reaching out to me during the free agency period. Also to Dave Access for keeping me happily employed during the SFL season. And just to everybody, congratulations, and it's good to see. I'm thankful that we get to see Rich Pratchard on the field one last time on December 6th for the All-Star game. And again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I am thankful to all the military. Again, think of them while they are not at home, and think about the family and friends that they leave behind while they are serving our country. And that is all.
Awesome, Gunny. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Johnny, you're up next, buddy. Give me something that you're thankful for in the SFL and something outside of the SFL.
I had to unmute myself, bud. Inside the SFL, man, yeah, this is really it's really a great league. Everybody's touched on it. I think that I think that we all find this league, or the majority of us find this league pretty special, and we all can't necessarily pinpoint why, but it does something for us. Whether it fills a void, whether it takes us back to old times, whether we love the people we meet, it's something special. It's an addiction. I don't know how anyone could really turn away from this league. It's an amazing thing. Specifically what I'm thankful for in the league. All anyone who's been a supporter of mine, whether that's, watching my games, cheering me on, supporting the content I put out, even when it's, hasn't been favorable to everybody, the people who've stood behind me, I've appreciated all of those, and everybody who's done that, they know who they are. I'm thankful to Colin and Dwayne for drafting me with the first overall pick last year. It was a special memory to be out there. Thankful for Cam for welcoming me with opening arms out there in Boston. After that selection, I mean, they really started my quote unquote SFL career. And whether or not I'm a gladiator, I'll always have the utmost respect for Colin and Dwayne, and for them making me part of the team at that time. I'm extremely thankful to Gerald Smith, league wise, not just for his coaching, but really just because of the man that he is, and the friendship that that's blossomed between us over such a short period of time. I feel like I know him as well as I know him as well as I know some of my best friends who I've known my whole life. And it's not just Gerald. I'm not going to go name names. I'm just so thankful for the community. There's just so many friends I've made, and while I knew what esport communities were capable of when it comes to socialization and things like that, this league's really it's at another level when it comes to the personal touch and how close we all get, and the energy and the emotions. So I'm thankful for all of the friendships that I've already began to develop, and I know there's going to be many more to come. So I'm thankful for the future relationships that I find here in the league as well. As far as outside the league, I'm always try and make sure to thank God first and foremost. Through him, all things are possible. I thank him every day for the mind that I have, for being healthy, for being able to walk, being able to see. I mean, there's so many things we take for granted every day. You just the way we think. I mean, you could take one slip and hit your head on the side of a table, and you'd never be the same person again. So I'm very thankful, to have the capacity that I do. I'm thankful for my parents, my deceased father, and my mother and my stepfather, all three of them collectively. I wouldn't be who I am without them. They did a tremendous job raising me. I'm sure I was a pain in the ass at multiple times, but really they did a great job at, teaching me how to love, teaching me what love felt like, and instilling good, a sound moral compass within me for me to pass on to my children. I'm thankful for, of course, I'm thankful for, all of, my brothers, and sisters in the armed forces, but I'm really thankful for, anyone who's served this country and who's paid the ultimate sacrifice. The real heroes are the ones who don't come home, but that's whether it's police force or anyone who's paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect us and for all of the rights, and for us to be able to play in a league like this where, some countries don't even allow an internet. I mean, it's crazy, the freedoms we take for granted. I'm thankful every day for that. I'm extremely thankful for Kelly. I do a pretty good job, at least I think I do, of kind of putting on a front, and acting like everything's good and gravy in my life. And I was at a real low point, and I'm not sure if anyone close to me noticed a few years back in my family or friends, but I don't think they did. I just know internally where I was life wise, and God led that woman into my life at the right time. She surrounds me and swarms me with love and care every day. She's such an honorable woman, and she keeps me honest every day. I'm truly blessed and lucky to have her. I consider it life-saving that she came into my life. And of course, I'm extremely grateful for my two healthy, beautiful daughters, Gracie and Gabriella. That's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Johnny, for that. Thanks for opening up and telling us all of that. I appreciate it. Jack Brown, you're next, buddy. Let me know something that you are thankful for in the SFL and something outside of the SFL.
All right. Before this, I was already starting to kind of like choke up and get emotional. So, sorry if I like break at some points throughout this.
It's okay.
When it comes to the SFL itself, I joined this league when I was just 15 years old. I had just gotten out of my freshman year of high school. My entire hair was blue. that was the weird time in my life. And just the SFL has been able to like basically in lockstep with me, like go with me through my life for the past 3.5, nearly 4 years now. It's something that I never really imagined would happen when I first joined this league back when I was like 15. It's not something that I think anyone really expects to happen. What in particular I'm really thankful for around here is just I would like to thank everyone who's like kind of presided over me, like Cam, Ramos, Allen, Mike Daggs, everyone of that area. I know I can be a pain in the ass sometimes. But the fact that even through all that, I know that pretty much all of you still believe in me and keep allowing me back on the airwaves or anything like that. It's honestly something that is something that I'll never like. I don't know if I'll ever get something like this again. Just something that I can come into and just with open arms be accepted and be able to be who I am. There's nothing else like that in this world. In terms of my personal life, oh god. I guess I should start with thanking most all of like my closest friends. It would take too long to name their names. But if you're watching this somehow, you know who you are. They've helped me out through so much stuff that I've been going through. I'm not the most like stable person in terms of like my mental health. There have been times where things have just been up shit's creek, and there have been other times where things have just been fantastic. It's a roller coaster to say the least. Also just want to specifically say thank you to an old mentor of mine, Uncle Ron. He was the radio station manager at my high school's radio station. He taught me so much about just the way that life is, and just the way that things are. It's truly something that I'll never be able to fully repay you for. I'm forever in debt, but I think most importantly, like, the person who I am by far most thankful to is my mother. You know, raising 3 kids on your own, never mind off the child support meant for one, that shit ain't easy. Sorry, pardon my French. It's just
No worries.
like it's something that I could never imagine being able to pull off by myself, yet she's always been able to do it time after time, and I will, she's made me the person who I am today, and the relationship that her and I have is something that is unlike anything else. I can't even describe it. It's something that is utterly special.
Absolutely. I mean, single moms are some of the best heroes that we have to look up to. I also grew up with a single mom, Jack, so I get where you're going with that. So thank you for sharing all that with us. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Tyler Falk, you are second to last. We're going to go with Tyler and then Wink, and then I'm going to have my final thank yous and wrap up, and then that'll be the show tonight. Tyler Falk, give me something that you are thankful for in the SFL and something outside the SFL.
All right. Thanks, Dave. First off, I want to thank, again, Cameron Irvine and the rest of league headquarters for the SFL for just creating a phenomenal product and a place where people from all walks of life and from all across the globe can come and just have an amazing time in an amazing league. So thank you. Second, I want to thank Cameron Curtis and not Cameron Curtis. I want to thank Mike Taggs and Curtis for allowing me to.
Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis. There we go. Yeah, there we go. For Chris Curtis and Mike Taggs for giving me a shot on the broadcast team, and I want to thank the many people that encouraged me to create a player alongside me as a broadcaster. And a special shout out goes to the actual Mike Ryan, who sadly is no longer with us. Thanks to you guys. Dave, I want to thank you for giving me a shot and giving me a place here on the Axis show. And thank you to Ashley Jackson, Nelson Lozano, and everybody else that has given me a shot on a podcast or anything live like this. It's been a phenomenal journey, and I can't be more grateful and more thankful to do something that I only thought I could once dream of. And lastly, for the SFL, I want to thank everybody, every single last one of you in the league, for just allowing me to come into your homes, into your ears, and just be able to basically tell my story and be able to put up a good product, because I do it for you guys, because this league is awesome. And if it weren't for this league being awesome, I wouldn't give my full effort, and I hope that shows. I hope I'm able to, produce at 100%, 110% for everybody, and I hope you will enjoy it. I want to thank my Memphis teammates and the rest of the SFLM crew. River Runners Rise Up. So to Bernard, Jason, France, Viva la France, Max Knight, all of you guys. You guys are the best teammates in the world, and I hope I get to play alongside with you guys in the SFL. Future, I'm thankful for whoever drafts me or whoever picks me up in free agency, and I hope I can prove my worth to you. Outside the league, I want to thank my parents. It's my dad has served over 30 plus years. I think in his 35th or 36th year with the Air Force National Guard up in Minnesota. And for them to teach, mold, mentor, love me, and build me into the man I am, I can't thank them enough. And because of my dad and because of Mike Ryan, I'm now serving in the Air Force. So I want to thank my wingmen who have been with me even since basic. Just an absolutely phenomenal journey we've all been on, and I couldn't be here without you. I'm thankful, lastly, to God for giving me everything that I have. I've been very fortunate and very lucky with what I've been able to do, and it's all things are possible through him, and I'm very, very happy with where he's taken me, and I hope, no matter what his plan is, that I can continue just be a light to light for everyone. So again, I'm thankful to every single last one of you, and thank you for hanging in there.
Yeah, thank you, Tyler. Thank you for all you do for the show and the league, and thank you for sharing all of that with us right now. I appreciate it. Okay, we're gonna do one more. I made Winkler get on the air because I want to hear Winkler, and then I'm gonna finish up mine, what I saved for the end of the show. But Winkler, give me something you're thankful for in the SFL and something you're thankful for outside of the SFL.
You saved the worst for last. I love you.
I know. Hey, alphabetical order. Wink. Change your name, bro. Change your name.
Inside the SFL, I mean, I gotta say, I'm thankful for the entire community. When you can join a community as large as this one, and you can say that you've only really met one person that you did not see eye to eye with how large this community is, I think it speaks volumes. Everybody's got something to offer. Everybody's nice to each other and wants to help each other out. I mean, shit. I was on the fuel in the minors, and I mean, we were like a small little brotherhood when I first got in, and then I transitioned to St. Louis, and I get to play alongside two of my best friends who I've known since I was in the 4th grade. It's amazing. And then I meet Dave and everybody else on this panel, and I probably talk more to Dave some days than I do my girlfriend.
It's true. It's true.
It's insane. I mean, if you would have told me, hey, you know, this is what you would be doing like last year at this time, I would have been like, yeah, I don't think so. I mean, everybody's got so much invested in this community, and it shows. Whether it just be the people who tweet or the people who get in Gen Chat, everybody has something to offer. It's amazing to see. As far as personal, what I'm thankful the most for, and don't laugh, but is probably my dog. I know I should say my girlfriend. She's amazing and I love her to death. But my dog Shiva, I got her after a pretty rough divorce, where the ex stole $4,000 from me, cut the power, and ran while I was on a business trip in Connecticut, and she took the dog that we had. I was feeling pretty down. And a couple months later, Chris Lee ended up coming to move up with me because I travel for work. So if I were to get an animal, I couldn't keep it, right? Because I wouldn't be able to take care of it. And it's just not right. So he came to live with me, and one of the conditions for him living with me is when I get a dog, you are the babysitter when I'm gone. So big shout out to him. And then I found Shiva. Her name is Shiva. She's a husky. She was in bordering West Virginia. I drove, I think it was 26 hours that day straight down and back to grab her. And when I got her, I almost didn't want her because I looked at her and the picture they showed me was of a 4-week pup. And I get there and it's a 5-month-old dog. And I'm like, man, this is definitely not, this is a little bait and switch. But when it was some Mennonites. and they brought her out of this barn with a noose around her neck. And like as soon as I saw that, I'm just like, you know what? Nope, I'm taking you and getting out. And I mean, she's been my rock ever since.
Wow, that was a crazy story, bro. And thank God for Chris Lee for dog sitting for you.
Yes.
Right.
And now I have a beautiful girlfriend who is probably the second best thing that's ever happened to me, and she got a dog. And I mean, we're one big happy family with two beautiful furry babies.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Wink. I love dragging you on every once in a while, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. All right, everybody. So here's how I'm going to wrap up this show. I didn't do all of my thank yous at the beginning because there's some stuff I wanted to save for the very end of the show. First and foremost, I want to thank the absolute gorgeous love of my life, Lisa. You guys know her as Pink Lisa in the chat. She has been nothing but supportive of everything I've been doing with the SFL, with this show, with the SSF, the whole 9 yards. She is the best wife. We've been married almost 29 years. We'll be having a 30th anniversary here in about a year and a half. And she's just the most amazing woman I've ever known in my entire life. So more than anything in this world, I am thankful for her and for the marriage that we've had for almost 3 decades. Second, I wanted to thank everyone who has served in the military. I know we just did a military show, but, you know, I think somebody mentioned it earlier. There's going to be a lot of Marines and soldiers and sailors and airmen and National Guard and Coast Guard people that will not be able to spend Thanksgiving with their families this week because they're busy protecting us. So when you're sitting around the table with your family in a couple of days, I hope that you guys keep that in the back of your mind, that the only reason that you're able to sit there and do that is because of other people who are sacrificing right now for you and your family. Third, I would like to thank Cam Irvine. Cam and I joke a lot. We didn't always get along over the last several months. But as I've gotten to know him more, and we've had some great conversations and some heart-to-hearts and what have you, I've really grown to like this guy. And I think that anytime that there's tough decisions made in this league, and I think he just showed that recently, that I think his heart is in the right place. And I thank him for just creating this league to begin with, because without it, none of us would be here right this second, listening to these stories, you know, supporting each other. We wouldn't have this right now. We would all be off doing something else instead of being right here. So a big, huge thank you and shout out to Cam Irvine for just even putting this whole thing together. And then lastly, Winkler and Eagle. I saved them for last on purpose because I got to tell you, I know, you know, I thanked Johnny earlier. He helped me get started. But there is so much more that's involved in this show than we first started. This show has evolved and it's continuing to evolve, and we even have some more plans for next season. Without those two guys, I would be lost. It would just be me on here talking with probably one graphic the whole time. Without Winkler doing crazy videos and doing all the things that he does, this show wouldn't be anything. It would be nothing compared to what it is now. And the same with Eagle. Eagle, not only is he really super busy with the SSF, as is Wink, but with him, he helps out with the show. He's on this show. He helps me behind the scenes as well. He takes care of the server. He takes care of the diva voting. You know, there's a lot of things that these guys do even behind the scenes that you guys don't see. So because we are on the show tonight, I wanted to make sure that they understood how much I am thankful for them and how much I appreciate them. You like the show, and I know a lot of you do. I would hope that you would be thankful to them as well, because without them, this show is nothing what it is, or what it's like now. So all of that to say, thank you to all of you listening. Thank you to all of you supporting. Thank you to all the panelists that come on tonight, in particular, Benjamin Warner, Benji Matson, Charles Doherty, Coach, Eagle, Eddie Gage, Frank the Franchise, Wade, Winkler, Greg Soto, Gunny, Johnny. I think Jack Brown had to bail, but thanks to him as well. Tyler, and all the regulars that weren't able to be here tonight, like a Twin Screw, like a Thomas, Nelson, even Nacho once in a while. All these guys that come on the show, again, without them, there's no show. It's just me yapping. You guys don't want to hear me yapping for an hour and a half twice a week. So thank you to everybody that's made this show successful. Thank you for everybody who's putting the work. Thank you for the people that are listening and supporting it. And I hope everyone, every single one of you has just a blessed Thanksgiving. And again, please, when you're sitting around the table on Thursday, try to remember what we talked about here tonight. Think about the people that are protecting your freedoms so you can sit around that table. And just please be thankful on Thursday. We should be thankful every day, but especially on Thursday since it's, called Thanksgiving. All right. Enough of the mushy stuff. We'll be back next Tuesday. There will not be a show on Thursday, obviously, because I'll be sitting around the table with my family, thanking God and thanking everyone for the freedoms I have to do so. So thank you again for tuning in. Thanks for sticking it out. I know this was a long show tonight. It wasn't necessarily planned this way, but you know what? Sometimes things that are not planned turn out better than the way you planned them. So thank you again. I hope you have a glorious Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next Tuesday at the Tees.